So you are a Nigerian living in the United Kingdom.
Exactly.
Is it worth it? How you ran away when you started a job in kitchen porter, but now all of a sudden you are into tech.
When I got here, my landlady was the first person that, gave me those shivers. It's like, there's no way you will come to this country and not suffer first. And I looked at the pot, maybe like 8 or 10. So I felt, well, the Nigerian in me felt like, maybe it's just a watch pot. My brother, I was watching at some point. So it was there that I started talking to myself like, come, you will die here. You might not necessarily like the job you are doing at the moment, but don't make yourself redundant, because there are so many people doing care work, doing jobs that they don't like at the moment, and they are being given the opportunity to lead team, but they just throw it away because they feel like it's not going to reflect on my paycheck. Why should you give me extra responsibility because it's not reflecting? Bro, you could take it, document your experience, add it to your CV, and you're a team manager.
So you are a Nigerian living in the United Kingdom.
Exactly.
Is it worth it?
It's worth it. From my point of view, it's worth it. Because if I look at what I have achieved within the short period of time that I've been in the UK, I would conclude that it's worth it.
What you've achieved. Now, your story is not at least I know some of your story. Your story is not a somewhat straight one. There's something that you mentioned to me about how you ran away when you started a job in the UK from a kitchen porter. But now all of a sudden you are into tech.
Yeah.
Walk me through the journey of that kitchen porter to tech.
Oh, thank you very much. We all have expectations, and I had my expectation when I was relocating to the UK.
Okay.
So I had thought it would be an easy ride because I've always been an optimistic person.
But you got into tech through care job.
Before I left the country, before I left Nigeria, I had hope. The picture in my mind was I want to be able to work in central London, not just anywhere in the UK, but in the heart of UK.
Why?
Because even while I was in Nigeria, while I was working in Nigeria, I always had the dream of, excellence, living that life of excellence. And I really do not care how turbulent, the journey might be for me. But I believe that God did not just create me to come and fill a space, not just for myself, but for people around me. So if God has given me that mandate, or He has bestowed it upon me that I will prosper and be in good health, I believe it's not just for me. It's also for everyone around me or whoever it is that I come in contact with.
Kitchen porter can be in central London.
Yeah.
But you are not a kitchen porter in central London now. You used to be.
I used to be.
So walk me through that
journey
of that, especially that story of kitchen porter. Why did you run away?
Okay, what happened was this. I just came in newly, and I thought that, coming to the UK, before coming to the UK, a lot of people have mentioned about the jobs, like you do different kind of jobs. So I was already prepared that, I believe any job I could be able to do. I'm Nigerian, I'm strong, I could do anything. But then, so when my first few weeks in the UK, my first week in the UK, I had rented an apartment from Nigeria. I never even knew where I was going. But when I got here, my landlady, was the first person that, gave me those shivers. She gave me those stories like, there's no way you will come to this country and not suffer first. You will suffer, you will struggle.
From your landlady?
Yeah, and that's why I said sometimes, the first people you meet will determine the course of your journey. In the UK, the first sort of people you meet, the first set of stories you hear will determine, might determine, let me put it that way, might determine, the direction. That optimistic mindset that I told her that, maybe that's your time. During your time, this is our time, I will not suffer. I will not. So when she was saying I was countering her because I felt like there's no job that is difficult. Alas, during that week, I applied for a job on, I'm not going to mention the popular job site.
They're not paying.
Yeah, the popular job site. And I saw a kitchen porter. And I asked her, what does kitchen porter do? And she said, That man Faboni, those people that were, I say plates.
That wash plates.
That wash plates. I say me plates. I've been washing plates since when I was 5 years old. There is no plate in this. I can close my eyes and wash. So they said, okay, go for the interview. No, probably. So along that line, when I saw the job, a friend of mine also came in. He had come in before me, some few weeks before. We were both students. Mind you, I was a student here. So I could only do 20 hours. So the friend told me that there's also a restaurant somewhere that, in fact, he had already spoken with the person that she just come in and just do the job. And it's quick money, you know. So I went there.
To wash plates.
Yeah, I felt kitchen porter is just to wash plates. So when I got it was a Ghanaian restaurant. And the guy spoke to me nicely and it was like, are you sure you can do this? The way you are dressed, you don't look like... because I dress so well because I believe I came to the UK to prosper, not to suffer.
Okay.
So I usually dress it.
You dress the part.
Yeah, I dress the part. So when someone said, the way you're dressed, you don't look like someone. I said, no, don't look at the dressing. Just there's not.
The Nigerian.
I was just not to wash plates. Go and ask my mom. So he said, okay, yeah, so this is it. It's going to be £10 an hour. And I'll just take you right to the back where I'll just introduce some of the kitchen staff and you'll see what you're meant to do. But so maybe if you want to, depending, since you're a student, you just do 10 hours, 10 hours, 2 days, then you're good. So you'll be working from now till the next 10 hours. So I said, just show me the job. Let me just start. So I took off my coat, my jacket.
Oh, you wore a jacket?
I wore a jacket, yeah, because, yeah. I wanted to work, you know. I love to look good. So I hung my jacket and he took me there. So when he opened the shed, and he said, this is where you start from. You start washing this pot. And when I saw the pot, ikokoni, toffee, jollof rice. I don't know how to put it in English. Iron pots.
Metal pots.
Metal pots. Metal pots. You know, maybe they made something like amala. You know those heavy starch food, and it shows that it's been there maybe from yesterday, and it's stuck to the. You know, when you try to scrape something like starch from, and they were like, I was saying like 7, 8 big pots of. So I felt like, well, this looked like. But you said plates and pots. This is not pots. He said these are pots. This is what we call them here. So you just need to do this, then your colleague will show you the rest of it. And I looked at the pot, maybe like 8 or 10. So I felt, well, the Nigerian in me felt like, the bill is just to wash pots. My brother, 30 minutes, I was still on one pot, scraping it. And at that point, I couldn't feel maybe one muscle on my back.
This is your first day as a kitchen porter?
They said it's washing plates. I was scrubbing it and they left me all by myself in the kitchen. So I was watching at some point. So it was there that I started talking to myself like, come, you will die here. Like, this is not the pot. This is not the life I started.
This is not UK.
This is not the UK I planned. But I can't do this. Something inside of me would tell me, keep trying, but I can't do this. Until it got to the point where I couldn't even film. And I looked at the rest of the pot, and I'm still struggling with one. So I made up my mind that, do I go and tell him that, maybe it's by mistake, I didn't mean to come in. So I couldn't summon the courage to go and tell him because he had already seen me as someone, I don't want to chew my words. I don't want him to see me like. So I made up my mind that I can't die here. I didn't tell my wife at home that I'm coming here to come and die. Because I told her I was going to wash pot and she felt she was okay. It's just for a start. So what actually happened was I thought, okay, the best thing I need to do is to find my way to escape.
Escape the job.
That is the only thing that I can't go and meet him to tell him that I'm no longer doing the job. So I just picked my coat and I told him I was going for a break. Mind you, I had worked for almost like 2 hours at this time. So I'd watched one pot successfully. I was on the second one. And I told him I was going on break. I wanted to go get coffee on the other side. But my mind, I was running away. I will not lie to you.
You resigned?
I resigned by myself. So I said, no, we make coffees too. We have a coffee machine. I just go to the reception, go make it. I said, no, there's a particular brand of coffee on the side of the road that because I'm allergic to some things. So I just gave him one story and said, okay, just go. I give you like 10 minutes, just get the coffee. And immediately I stepped out. The next boss, and the boss, I don't even care where he's going.
So you hopped on the bus.
Bye-bye. This guy called. The annoying thing is, his spirit should have told him that I've left.
Because you ran.
I ran. He should have known. I was beginning that the spirit that told me to run should have told him that this guy has fled. The guy called me all through the day.
Johnny.
Where are you? Through the day.
Oh.
Like, where are you? I said, I've gone. He said, you've gone to where? I've gone. But I can't do the job. He said, you should have told me. I will have gotten someone to help you. I said, no, I can't. This is not the kind of job I want. He begged me that I should come back, that I shouldn't worry. We had £1
to make it 11
to make it 11 pounds. I said, no, even if you put it 20 pounds, I cannot come and die here. I left. Why did I leave? Why did I leave that job? Yeah, it wasn't that I could not stay and, pressurize myself to do it, put myself under pressure to do it. But believe me, if I'm able to survive that day, my body will accustom itself to that job for the next day. Then I'll still keep coming back to do the kitchen porter job. I'll keep coming back to do it the next day. Then it becomes part of me. And mind you, I had not explored other areas. It's just my first week in the UK.
So you're saying that people get accustomed to a particular job, even though the job is killing them, but because they are now accustomed, they keep coming back.
Your body keeps, adjusting itself. So at some point you feel like, it's a hard job, but what can we do? What can we do?
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
People say, what can we do? Now man must survive now.
Yeah.
We must pay.
Yeah. So the propensity or probability to check out other options is gone because you've already found something. The first week you're already doing an £11 or £10 job and you're making money immediately. So because that mindset that, okay, I'm already making money immediately, I'm beginning, I will start planning myself on that £10. Like, okay, let me just hold this one until I get another job. So even at that, this is a personal opinion for me, actually. Even at that, I had closed myself up to explore that opportunity because there's already something I'm holding on to. And mind you, my mindset coming here was that I'm coming here to prosper. I already have some background of tech.
We're going there. We're going to your tech.
So sometimes when you are skilled, when you have some skills in you, it pushes you. Sometimes it makes people feel like you're proud, like you don't want to do what other things are doing. But you are someone of value. You have value to offer. So it turns you to a selective person when it comes to and you feel like your mates are doing it now.
Okay.
I
want to explore that because you see, this idea of your mates are doing it is very common in the UK. For instance, it's like there's a special breed of Nigerians that comes to the UK because you said now that you don't want to do this kind of job because you have a background in tech. Many people have background in tech and they come to the UK and because bill is looking at them, they need to pay the next bill. Is it that when you're coming from Nigeria, you came with a lot of money, that's why you were able to say, you know what, let me go and be spending the money I brought from Nigeria? Was that why you say, you know what, I'm not doing this job, it's killing me, I'm going to find something better?
No, I didn't come. In fact, as a matter of fact, I think I came around with £180 cash and £180 cash, £180.
So that's approximately.
That was the money that came with me. That I went to change when the bureau did change.
So why then were you picky?
Okay, thank you very much. This is the reason. You see, I usually use this analogy. When the first week, my first week in the UK, the first culture shock I encountered was quite revealing. It revealed a lot of things to me. I realized on the streets, I lived in Greenwich, which is a very popular destination for tourists because I had schooled at the University of Greenwich. So I lived around the campus, very popular for tourists, and we have lots of people around, always have lots of people around. So there was this particular day, I decided to stroll out, and I saw everybody walking fast.
In London.
In London, yeah, because everyone work fast in London. I think
That's
it's a
the life.
culture, yeah. So we were on the road. I was walking towards Lewisham, and everyone was walking fast. In fact, even the elderly ones were walking past me. I was walking slow. They were walking briskly and very fast. So everyone was overtaking. So I felt like, I think it's a culture. Everybody's walking fast. I think I should join them. Let me walk fast with them too. So let me walk fast. It's like there must be a reason why everyone's walking fast. So let me join them. Well, only to find out that there was a station, a train station close by, and people would ride it. Everyone was running fast, but they wanted to go catch a train. So the same thing. So something, I got some revelation there that you might come to the UK newly and you see everyone, on the fast lane rushing to a place. Like, I have to shift somewhere. I have this shift, this. If you're not careful, you will join the train because everyone is rushing. Everyone has, I don't know how I'm going to put it. Everyone has.
You have a train to catch.
You have a train to catch.
That might not be your train.
That might not be exactly. That might not be. I don't need to catch a train because it's my area. That's where I live.
So you don't have to.
So I don't need to rush. I don't need to walk fast, with them, because they are going to catch a train. I live on on that road. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just taking a stroll.
Why then are you running?
So why am I exactly? That was the revelation that thing gave to me, and most people are running other people's race.
I'm quite.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure about that.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure about
so that was my conclusion. So that was what made me feel like my journey is different. My journey is different. Okay. We all have what I believe. There's something called grace. Okay. I believe in grace, and I believe in the power of positive thinking. Okay. You thinking that what you think is what you become. So I know that if I train myself to see opportunities around me, even if I work as a warehouse operative, I'll be able to spot opportunities that will take me to where I want to be. So I'm a hard worker. Aside from forget the fact that I ran away from as a kitchen porter. After that, I eventually got a job as a warehouse operative. Mm-hmm. And that was the job I did, worked as a student. And working as a warehouse operative, I was on night shift. Mm-hmm. And you stand for like 14 hours, 12 hours, because I was doing 20 hours as a student. And I had to pay my rent. And I still have some money left to pay. I owed some banks, before traveling to the UK. So there was a lot. I have family back at home because I came all by myself first, just to see how things are going to be before I bring my family. So there were a lot. I had fears. Not that I did not have. I had fears. I had doubts. Like how am I going to cope paying the loan that I had gotten before traveling, from Nigeria back here, and paying the rest of my school fees, and how do I bring my family in? There's a whole lot. So don't think that I decided to shy away from that job because I was lazy or because I couldn't do the job. I just felt that it was too quick for me to conclude that this should be my first job.
I want to explore something that you mentioned now, because what you mentioned now will lead me into the next question. You said something about being able to spot opportunity. Yeah. Now in the UK, you work in tech. In fact, now you work in the central London.
Yeah.
When you are in the
my
office.
Dream, yeah.
Now you work in your dream. But you got into tech through care job.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting story that it was while you were on a care job that you walked through. And I don't think that you are lazy because you moved into warehouse after school. You worked, in the
I worked
hospitality.
I worked in the hotel. I worked as a waiter. I worked as a food runner. I worked as a bar back. Those that wash cup at the back of the bar.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I transitioned into a support worker.
Okay.
Then I transitioned into an healthcare assistant first.
Okay.
Then I transitioned into a support worker. Then from a support worker to an IT administrator. Then from an IT administrator to a web product manager. So I'm now a web product manager at a prestigious university in central London.
I know, because your university is central. If people's money is high. Now, if you roll it back to your days as a support worker, there was true support work that you got into your tech.
Yeah.
Please walk us through that story. And what's going on? Was it this hunger that I'm better? I can do better. Tell us the
Yeah.
story.
Thank you very much. I transitioned into support worker from a waiter role. I was working as a waiter in a luxury hotel in central London.
You like Central London?
Yeah, because this is the point. I had a vision that leaving Nigeria, my dream, if I'm at all I'm going to work in the UK, I'm going to work in London, I have to work in central London. I have to work where the best professionals are working. So I had that in my mind. So when I got to the UK and the story changed and it doesn't really look like what I had imagined it to be, but I still have that picture in my mind. Fortunately for me, a friend of mine, I want to start from the waiter role.
Okay.
Then I will push it to
Into the support role.
because the idea started from the waiter
nice.
role.
I'm
Before
all
it
yes.
moved.
I'm all yes.
Yeah, so a friend of mine got a job in an hospital. The wife of my friend got a job in a hotel in central London, and told me that there's an opportunity there for waiter, food runner, those that carry food from the kitchen to come and give to waiters.
You're back to the kitchen.
Yeah. Then go back to the kitchen, and you pack the dirty place in the lounge, take it to the kitchen, they wash it, you take it, you arrange it.
You and plates in the UK.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's destiny.
You and plates.
It's destiny. I still ended up working with kitchen porter, carrying plates from kitchen porter, carrying plates to arrange in the lounge, carrying dirty plates. That was my job. I was doing that for 20 hours a week, and it's all standing. You're moving around the whole of the 20 hours. You are moving around, carrying heavy trays. So I started with that. And so what marveled me was that when I started as a waiter, I had other colleagues from different parts of the world. And I want to bring this also into this discussion. Like, if you work with people from different parts of the world, like you work in a diverse environment, it would expose you, or it will open you up to, to understanding how people think, understanding culture, understanding diversity, understanding why companies embrace diversity at place of work. Because if the only people you connect with or you've connected with since you moved to the UK are just people from where you come from, then there is a problem.
You don't know much.
You don't know much about, and it reflects when you're having interviews with an organization that embraces diversity. The kind of jokes they throw at you, you might not understand it. The kind of language you speak, they might not understand it. You might think you are articulating a point, but to them, they are imagining you on their team, and saying if you will fit into the work culture, or have you left that your culture,
own culture.
have you left it behind, or are you bringing it into fore? How are you going to adapt your culture, your person into the team? To embrace the differences, the cultural differences. That's what they are trying to see during interviews.
It's not about skills.
It's not about skills, because that's why they ask you behavioral questions. They ask you scenario-based questions, because they know that for the skill part, they have a way to sort that out. So they ask you. Yeah, they can train you. So how do you handle difficult situations? How do you handle a difficult team member? They are trying to get Yeah. So I learned that when I was working in the hotel, and the sporting opportunities started from when I was working in the hotel. So I was given an opportunity for one day to become a waiter, because the role I started as a food runner. I was only my role was just to carry food from the kitchen. So I'm always at the back of the beautiful space. I'm always at the back and in the kitchen. So I usually carry food from the kitchen to give to the waiter. So one day I was given an opportunity to wear the waiter uniform and attend to customers. And my first encounter with the software that was being used to book food and drinks, it was chaotic. Mind you, I was at that time I was a web design student. I was taking my master's in web design from University of Greenwich, and I had been a UI UX designer back in Nigeria. Yeah, before coming. So I spotted that as an opportunity because when I saw the user interface, I felt this was chaotic. It was chaotic in the sense that I had noticed that some of the guests that come to the hotel they leave at some point because it was difficult for the waiters to, to identify where the drinks are. It was not properly categorized. It was not properly, the interface looked a bit cumbersome and all that. So I looked at it and I said to myself, this is the opportunity that I've been looking for.
As a waiter?
Yes. So when I saw it, I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to make my manager aware of this. But in my mind, I was thinking, how am I going to bring this conversation to my manager that will interest him? Because I can't just go to my manager and say, the user interface, for this software that we are using to book food and is bad. So I said to myself, maybe I have to introduce the fact that we are losing money. So I went to my line manager. Mind you, this was my first day as a waiter. I do my job well. Whenever I'm not around, they know that I'm not around. Even as a food runner, I'm diligent. I do my job well because I always see it as this is an opportunity for me to prove that no matter the situation I find myself, I will be diligent because I know it's just a journey. I'm just passing through, but I'm still going to leave a mark, that someone, Adeyinka Campbell, passed through this place. There's a certain man that passed through this place and left an indelible mark of excellence. So no matter where I find myself working, I always put my best to it. That was how I was promoted to a waiter.
Oh, so that's how you, as a food runner,
I got promoted to a waiter. You get my point.
Let's go back to the story.
Yeah, so I went back to my manager. So I went to my manager and I told my manager, I think we're losing money here. And he said, how? I said, I've noticed within this short period of time, some customers, leaving early, they're leaving hungrily because they've not been attended to and because the food takes time to get across to them. So them leaving, don't you think we are losing money? If you count the number of people that would have left, even this month alone, we should be able to account for some losses. And I think I can solve this problem. So he thought that if we could solve that problem, it would be a credit to him too.
Of course.
As the manager. So he said, so how did you spot it? So I told him, I took him to the software, to the user interface, and I told him, these are not properly categorized, and these were not done well. The colors that's been used is not accessible. There are some of us that struggle at night because some of the staffs have vision problem as well. So if we could tone down the colors, if we could categorize. So I just used my UX design principles to explain it. So then he said, can you do it? Then I said, well, if given the time, I could work on it to rearrange and put one or two things in place to make it look easy for everyone. But I might need to conduct some tests from my, colleagues. And he said, okay, what, when you come in tomorrow, don't do the waiter stuff. Just focus on this. And I said, just give me the opportunity to, to package a presentation for the top manager so that we could. So my mind was that I saw that as an opportunity. Okay, if I could use this
and meet the top
management team, and if there's an opportunity for me to work on that project, of course, I will transition. I will transition. That's what I meant by looking out for opportunities. You might not necessarily like the job you are doing at the moment, but don't make yourself redundant. The more you put yourself into the job, the more opportunities you create for yourself. Because there are so many people doing care work, doing jobs that they don't like at the moment, and they are being given the opportunity to lead team, but they just throw it away because they feel like it's not going to reflect on my paycheck. Why should you give me extra responsibility because it's not reflecting? Bro, you could take it, document your experience, add it to your CV, and you're a team manager. And you can use that to apply for a managerial role because you have experience managing a team. You don't have to get paid for everything. It depends on what you are seeing. You might be working as a a carer, a support worker, in a place, and they're giving you additional responsibilities, like be a team lead or write risk assessment for people. They're giving you some additional, and you feel like, no, you can't. I'm not supposed to be doing that, because how much are you paying me? How much am I being paid that you're having? It's not about the pay at that time. It's about where you're going. You could take those roles, add it to your CV, document it, and use that as a leverage to your next job. So that was what I meant by opportunities. So, yeah, I had the opportunity to present to the top tier management. Yeah, I did the presentation. They took the presentation, but they don't have an IT. They don't have a department in the, within the hotel. So, so I felt disappointed when I was told that we'll only send this to, we have a third-party company that does this, but we'll send this report to them for them to implement those changes. I felt bad. But you know what? I didn't feel bad in the long run, because I documented that experience. I documented it. I included it on my CV that during my time at this place, I did this. I did this. That is where people miss out. So by the time when I transitioned into, I first transitioned into a healthcare assistant job. I spent some months in there, then before I moved into support worker role. Now, the support worker, I was a support worker for a school for children with learning disabilities, and the opportunity to work with teenagers who have learning disabilities. So when I got in there as a support worker, I had service users were assigned to me. I discovered one particular child, with very intelligent child, and I see he had a bit of is quite knowledgeable in understanding tech, understanding it's more advanced, way more advanced than other children in there, and he feels so irritated when he's being taught, elementary stuff. He wanted something, yeah. So that what triggers him is if you're teaching him elementary stuff, it gets triggered. So I looked at the syllabus and what we were teaching them one day. Mind you, I was a support worker. I'm not supposed to be interested in looking at syllabus or what they're teaching there. I'm just support and go home. You understand? Like I'm just a support worker, but I picked interest because of the passion to solve problems, empathy. I just felt like, what if these children were my children? What would I do? Wherever I find myself, I just wanted to be proactive. So I found out that, okay, this child is always triggered by elementary things. So let me see if it's possible for me to introduce tech to him. If it's possible for me to teach him probably web design skills, and let's see how it goes. So I approached the management, and I gave them the proposal that this particular child seems like it will be up for this. So let's just give me some time to work with him. And I was given the chance, thanks to the management anyway. And alas, this child picked up the skills. It picked up the skills, and we worked on some Shopify website, because he also said his dream was to sell toy trains. So we built a Shopify site together. We launched a Shopify site together, and it improved the well-being of the child. And that, of course, amazed the management, and they felt like, okay, if you could do this, and also threw up an opportunity for me to have a discussion with the management, like we could do more to the children. There might be more children we can help you. So the management now picked an interest in me because of that value, that I've been able to create. And that was what led to the fact that, yes, we need IT. We need an IT person to help us manage this infrastructure. If I had not, sacrificed that, time to work on that child, I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity to speak, just like I had the opportunity to speak with the top tier management at the hotel. The major break is transitioning from that support role to an IT administrator. Mind you, when I transitioned from the support worker, I wasn't teaching anymore. Okay. I was now managing the entire IT infrastructure of that school.
So they gave you a new
They gave me a new role. Mind you, it was still on the support worker salary.
Okay, so your salary, they remain,
Maintain.
they retain your salary, but
Yeah.
of course change your role.
Change my role. Yeah. So ideally, I should have probably felt like, okay, this is now my role.
I need to earn
Yeah, I need to.
better
Yeah. So
tech boys.
let me leave. I left not because of I moved on to another organization, not because of the salary thing, but it was just for personal reason. There was some things happening, so I felt I needed to move. To just to clear my head and make things better. But I had transitioned into an IT administrator, and having that has reflected on my
On your
CV.
CV. Yeah.
Yeah. So what people need to, especially people struggling to transition into tech, is to look for that opportunity to switch. It will not. It's right there where you are working. That opportunity is right there where you are working. It might not click immediately, but document your journey. Where you are at the moment, document it. Document your small wins, and that will be crucial to you landing your dream tech job. And this is how from there. So while working as an IT administrator in another care company, because I had moved, so now I can no longer look for a job and say I want to work as a support worker because I've transitioned into tech already.
Take back. Oh.
Yeah. So I'd made that transition into. So whatever role I will be applying onwards would definitely have to be IT administrator or tech. And mind you, I already had background in web design. I have my master's in web design. I'm a UI UX designer. I have other skills, soft skills like problem solving skills and all that. And this journey that I've been through from the kitchen porter to where I am at the moment is crucial for me, because when they're asking me those behavioral questions at the interviews, I always have stories to tell. What stories do you have to tell?
So you have stories.
I have stories. So when they say, have you met with a difficult, have you had an encounter with a difficult team member? How were you? I've had, I have stories. So where you are working at the moment, these are stories for you for the future.
For the future.
So don't just go to work and come back because I don't like the job. I'll just go do my job, leave.
Okay.
There's a journey, there's a story right there for you. You are an actor, play that part. So that when it gets to the point when you are being interviewed and being asked questions, scenario-based questions, you have, a lot of people do not have stories to tell. So when you're being interviewed and asked scenario-based questions, and have you worked with a difficult boss or difficult team lead before, how were you able to? They don't have anything to say because there's really nothing. They just go in there, get salary, and get back home.
And I'm glad now that you are in, in tech.
Yeah.
Finally you are now in tech, in the UK, in central London, as
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
prayed for.
Yeah.
Now, so now you enjoy what you do. So, which is why you would say that the UK makes sense. Did you at some point ever plan to maybe move back to Nigeria? Is that your plan?
No, it wasn't in my plan because one of the reasons is I had a very supportive family. Family plays a very crucial role. My wife, my children were very supportive at those turbulent times, because we had turbulent times. At some point, we couldn't even afford to buy clothes, to change clothes. It was just the clothes that when my family came in, the clothes that we bought at Primark then, that they wore for almost 1 year until they started outgrowing it. Because those periods where I was working, just trying to figure out, what will happen, what will become of us. And my wife too was also struggling. It took a toll on us, but it's just that we just have the same mindset as a family, that this is just a journey. We have a destination, a glorious destination that is better than. So let's just go through this. There are better things waiting for us on the other side. Yeah.
Was that why you were then able to, do that, weather the storm?
Yes,
and
yes.
and
My
all that?
my wife played a crucial role. Let me put it this way. I came in on a student visa. I could only do 20 hours. I came in first. So when my wife came in, 20 hours, me working 20 hours is not enough to take care of the family, to pay rent and all that. So my wife too joined in, and she made a lot of sacrifice. It's just the best gift that you'll ever have, coming to the UK with your wife. come with a partner that understands that we are in this together. This is not that this is my money, your money. This is the UK, and if there's any lack in the family, or if there's anything lacking, it might lead to stress that can dissociate the family. Because it's not like back home in Nigeria when you have support systems around you. Even your neighbors have support systems, because when you have issues with your wife, sometimes just you saying hi to the neighbor, just chatting off, about it, like don't mind that. It calms you down. But here you're on your own. You're on your own. So if you have any issue with your partner, especially in terms of finances, it could create a crack that can never be mended again. My name is Adeyinka Campbell. I'm a web product manager for a prestigious university in central London. I moved into the UK like 4 years ago, and I've worked in different aspects of whatever hard job that you think that people do in the UK. But I tell people that it's not the end. You working there at the moment is not the end of life.
Thank you so very much for doing this. We bring these stories. One motivates you, the other one to show you that these things are possible. Hopefully you can begin to then look at the stories and begin to pick the, important lessons and things that you can then use, to make your own life better. Also, all right. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel and you've watched thus far, please you need to do that. Just click the subscribe button and click on the bell so that you can get notifications when we drop new videos. This is what we do about here on Immigrant in Business. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for joining today.
Thank you very much.
It's amazing having you on this one.
All
All right, guys. This is this one. Bye.